Greetings and God bless. So I was listening to a book on tape, and it was from 2005 or something like that, about literature. And like Salman Rushdie in 87, which is when I went to college, like there was a big thing about his book, and people from the Middle East wanted to go kill the guy. And so liberal colleges were like, hey, we got to promote this guy. He's against the establishment. We're against the establishment. So, he's our ally, right? So there's all this support for Salman Rushdie in the, late 80s, early 90s. This misunderstood post-colonial author, third world author or whatever, poor guy, according to the left. But now he is called an Islamophobe by the academic left. Because I was listening to this more current audiobook. I can't remember when it was written, but definitely probably within the past 5 years. I'll have to look it up. But I just think it's so interesting because what I'm discovering about the liberal left that I've experienced in family, friends, is that their values just are like, who's the authority, who's not cool, who's not popular, and we're going to be against them. And these are hardcore liberals that I really believed in, because their values about truth and honor and goodness and just basic fundamentals just change. It changes with the program of the month. And the thing is about like true, like Greek, like if we're going to go back to like that more academic notion of liberalism, it was about having an open mind. It was about like a scientific method. And, nobody gets, no, you don't have prejudice just because somebody's name was Trump. You don't hate them automatically. Like you come at things with a cold, calculating, neutral sense of assessment, rather than how am I going to virtue signal to my friends about my pronouns and whatnot. I mean, it's so pathetic. This what's being called, what's being touted as justice or social justice or activism. This is insanity that people are like, I don't like this color, so I'm going to beat you up. I don't like your religion, so as a leftist, I'm going to beat you up. Like, and the leftists are supporting that. The leftists are just they're either supporting it or they're being silent about their displeasure. And that's like, they're allowing themselves to be like held hostage, because the reason why the silent majority of the left, who disapproves of the looting, who disapproves of the reverse racism where whites are racist against whites, or where people of color are being propagandized and programmed to blame whites by whites. I really do think it's white social workers that that are working with impoverished communities in the projects in cities and in reservations. I think these white social workers who are Marxists, it got Marxist training at their social work degree. And so they're going around saying, oh yeah, it's white people. It's my people that harmed you. So, go at it. I mean, and the thing is, that's not true. Like, people, everybody's messed up. And I wouldn't say anybody is more messed up because of their skin color. The pigmentation or lack thereof is not what makes bad people. What makes bad people is their humanity, is just everything, your environment and your upbringing and your personal choices and the demons that you harbor. Like it's not, you're not going to make the world a better place by eliminating all Caucasians. or torturing them or chasing, like frightening them, like the left wants to do, like the left is encouraging to be done. But I just think the left is such a pathetic, useless political group, and it's just so shameful of how inadequate and spineless it is. 30 years ago, like 25, when there were stupid things the left did in the past, like breaking windows during the Occupy movement or whatever. But I thought it was good, or it was great when that like this was way before I started paying attention to world events, but there was like this world meeting, and all these people were like, no, down to the new world order, and like so the left, it was sincere. It was trying to give just everybody a voice or whatever. But like now it's like it's the 1%, because there's just a few people in the world that really want to get a sex transplant. There's like just only a few people that are gay and need to flaunt it to everybody. And yet the mainstream narrative for us today is that everything's about trans, everything's about flaunting homosexuality, or just somebody's perverted sexuality, and the next layer now is pedophile. Like they're blaming children. It's the children that are making adults attracted to them, with that minor attracted persons, that new pedo term that the left is pushing and supporting. And like, where is the left that used to have some sense, used to have like intelligence? It's like, yes, I know people, they got into political power, they got these good jobs, so they're being bribed and brainwashed and blackmailed. But there's a lot of people who are not in the system that should be able to think for themselves, and they're not. It's like invasion of the body snatchers. I think, and that's like what's been, I think, the most challenging for me is like, who took all these decent people away and replaced them with mindless automatons that are just like, oh, let's support Ukraine for no reason, even though there's homeless people, even though there's black homeless people, even though there's black homeless poor children that need homes. We're going to send money to to Ukraine, or we're going to send money about sex change operations to the Middle East. We're going to send billions there. We got to send millions to the Middle East to get them up on trans stuff. Oh, let's hate Israel now. Like, oh, we have to put on masks, we have to force people to get injections, we have to threaten people, like we have to want people to go to concentration camps because they don't want their injections. Like, and these liberals have no conception how Nazi this is. Like, the fact that Ukraine was pro the word I just said, the fact that hating Israel is pro the word I just said. Like, there's this trend. There's this very crazy trend. And liberals are not even like, this is, I keep on waiting. and it's because there's some dumb part of me, but I keep on waiting for friends and family to be like, what? Boy, this is really, messed up. Like, of course, you're never going to hear, you're right. But yeah, I just think it's really pathetic, like what the leftist liberal mindset has allowed itself to become. And I mean, I see every once in a while people are like, yeah, I used to be a liberal, but JP Sears and Brent Pella did a very good skit about what I'm talking about. It's like Brent is a time traveler, and JP Sears is at his home in Texas, wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt, and Brent's from the like 1990s, and he's this he's this liberal time traveler who he displays all the good things that liberalism represented in the 90s, and that we completely lost. Like the liberals have lost their mind. And what's interesting is they could care less about getting it back. They could care less about like real values. Like and yeah, I mean that's why I just feel like we are in this science fiction movie that like Invasion of the Body Snatchers really seems to have happened. In my opinion, I really think it's happened. And like this Brave New World thing, that Aldous Huxley book, like it's happened because if you read Brave New World, or even read the comic version of it, it's like sexuality is just you belong to everybody. Whoever wants you just have to have sex with them. And there's parents aren't parents. There's no relationship between mom and dad. There's no gender roles. There's no family roles, and constant brainwashing. And so I'm like, we're getting there, very rapidly, like within the past like few years, in like this 1984 Big Brother censorship kind of thing. I mean, people have had their bank accounts seized in Canada for protesting lockdowns. Like the fact that lockdowns happened, the fact that people were in hospitals and nursing homes, sacrificed for the CV funds, sacrificed for the organ harvesting, because you make a lot of money, like a liver, eyes, corneas. I mean, there's that country, the country whose name begins with I. They're a big organ trafficking hub. Apparently, they are harvesting the corpses that's going on there. And it seems to me, and this was happening in Ukraine, organ harvesting was happening in Ukraine. And in China, that's another big thing too, is organ harvesting, where teenagers are selected. Like there's lot of government officials in China have been like, they brag about, they're like, I've had so many organ harvest transplants, I don't even have my any original organs anymore. They it's horrific. Like December 2023 on Earth, it's so creepy. It's so wrong. And people are like, oh, I'm getting it. I have my iPhone. I've got my TikTok. I'm gonna do my TikTok. I'm gonna, watch my stupid shows, my paranormal shows. I'm gonna play my paranormal video games. I'm gonna practice my paranormal Wicca thing or whatever. And and I'm gonna donate to BLM, or I'm gonna, do other leftist kind of nonsense. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's just, and the thing is, so many sci-fi tropes have been fulfilled, it seems to me. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Brave New World, 1984, Stepford Wives. I mean, there's more, and I'm waiting for like the Mad Max kind of scenario. I can't remember other ones, but yeah, and like like some folks are try to say, and I'm wondering where did these people, like, where did my original family members and friends go? Like where did their minds go? These were deep thinkers. These were caring, good people. And And some folks are saying, well, there's non-player characters. We're in a simulation. And then there's the biblical notion that there's the wheat and the tares. There's different fruits, so to speak. Because I ask myself, because there's just this minority of people who see through the stuff that's been going on. Who knew that it was a scam, who knew that they had nothing to fear, who knew that they didn't want to do all this forced medical stuff. But it was like statistically significant. It wasn't entire families. There'd be just one person who knew that breathing freely was better for them than to suffocate themselves. So there's always just one person there. If there is a spouse, like if there's a married couple, there'd be one person that believed, like the way we always used to believe in 2019 and beforehand, And so it broke apart, like it isolated that one person, because there'd only be one person. It wouldn't be like the whole family, knew what was going on. It wasn't like both, people in the marriage knew. It would be this one person in the family, this one person in the marriage, this one person in this, situation in a church or whatever. So that's kind of interesting to me too, like, because how could that be so perfectly executed, or just how could that phenomenon be that way? Because, like, if you ask, oh, do you like spaghetti, you'll have like a random amount. There'll be 3 people who like spaghetti, excuse me, and 9 people who don't, or 9 people who like it and 3 people who don't. You don't really have like only one person likes spaghetti in the family. Only, like there's but with this huge situation about suffocating, about putting something up and breaking your crib form plate, and then putting something covering your where you exhale your toxins, and then you're going to breathe it up into your broken blood-brain barrier. Like there was, just a few people who could see this was a problem. And I've asked everybody that I've encountered, which is a very few people, I'm like, what is different about you? Like, how are you able to see? Why do you see and not others? And I don't know. I really haven't like found out. I mean, is it that they're really more courageous people? They're maybe more honest people. They're like more nonconformists, like real nonconformists. That's the thing about the liberal thing now. It's not being a nonconformist, because they all have blue hair or green hair or weird, have some weird furry tail thing, just displaying their kink everywhere, wearing their masks, their suffocation kink, like it's not even being unique. So anyway, yeah, the liberal left of December 2023 is this spineless, morally bankrupt, pathetic, accursed group of people that will be despised by all of humanity in the future and in the past and the present. Like, loathed with great justification for the harms that the liberal left have committed to people of color, to vulnerable populations, to women, to children, to the West, and to developing countries. Because when you destroy the West, when you destroy this rule of law, when you destroy this Christian informed country and empire, I will say, that is informed by freedom, by God, because God, our God, this Christian God, is about freedom. When you destroy that, it's satanic. Like the reason why all these Asia and Africa and Latin America, the reason why they come to America is because we're a Christian country, because we have Jesus. They're not going to Israel. They're going to America because we have Lord Jesus Christ. We have the victorious Jesus Christ here. We have the information here. Why? Why does it matter? Because they know demons. There's active demonic encounters, witchy stuff going on in all of those countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa. There's a reason why. Because they know demons are real. And America is the one place where there's the presence of Lord Jesus Christ freely. And the thing is, we take it for granted. You know, Americans, we're like, oh, the Bible's so stupid. Oh, it's so boring. Jesus is so silly. Oh, he's so pathetic. The thing, and what's really bizarre is that people practice Satanism. People practice witchcraft. They know Satanists. They know witches. They read Harry Potter. They play these, you know, paranormal video games, or read or watch paranormal shows and books. And then, but they're like, oh, there's no such thing as the paranormal. The thing is, the paranormal is real. Satan is real. And we are so blessed that Jesus defeated him about 2,000 years ago. And he's just waiting for everybody to get the memo. Jesus is waiting for people to accept his gift, his free gift, that he wants to spend eternity with you. He's loving. He's unconditionally loving. He's capable of loving you with all your warts and all. But people are like, oh no, I don't need Jesus, you know. They're like, hell is going to be fun. I'm going to be with all my friends. No, you're not. You're going to be tortured by all the stupid stuff that you did. Like, you're not going to rest for eternity, because you're going to be punished for your arrogance and for all the crummy things you did. Crummy things that believers do. Like, believers, Christians, make mistakes too. We're messed up, just as messed up, probably even more messed up than liberals and stuff like that, than you know, people who have been meditating and doing yoga and stuff like that, I gotta say. But we have seen the truth, and we have humbled ourselves, and we haven't blown the King of the universe off. Because that's the thing. Jesus is the King above all kings. He is the one and only. He's God. How dare you reject God? How dare you dismiss God? How dare you dismiss the prime creator who knew you from the very beginning of time, and you're going to blow him off, and you think that you should get a free pass for being so stupid and arrogant and full of yourself and just willfully ignorant? No, there's no excuse, especially now, like with the internet, with YouTube. There's excellent Bible studies. You know, there's excellent presenters. Like, okay, Trey Smith, he has God in a Nutshell project. Outstanding presentation, amazing graphics, very accessible. You know, like, if you don't want anything that's like from a pastor, but if you're not such a judgmental bigot, you know, if you're not an anti-Christian bigot, you know, Pastor Robert Breaker has some very good Bible studies. And if you're interested in more kind of like unusual takes, I mean, Pastor Breaker does talk about giants and whatever. Pastor Gene Kim gets into like more, like a few years ago, he was doing more about like mermaids and superheroes and stuff like that, because these were the people of renown, like fairies and aliens and giants and all the chimeras, all the strange creatures that are mentioned in legends and stuff were real. They were created by fallen angel technology. These were satanic creations. Satanic creations, they're trying to start up again. Okay, there were robots and all sorts of crazy high-tech things that were in the past, and it's erased. So anyway, the information is right out there. It's out there, and just don't be so full of yourself and ignore it. So my light is totally going. The sun's gone down. So sorry about the bad film quality. It's always interesting to see like all the stuff that's in the air. But anyway, thanks for watching. God bless.